Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello and welcome to the 7th annual Wordplay. This is a 2-day festival of interactive fiction and storytelling in games. My name's Sagan. I'm Executive Director of the Hand-Eye Society. We're a video game arts nonprofit, and we're the ones that are running this event. And if you want more information about that, you can either come talk to me or anyone with the Hand-Eye Society logo on their chest or that info booth right over there. And so we're an organization dedicated to exploring and supporting video games and playful media as a form of creative expression and as a contemporary art form. So we do this by running year-round programming all over Toronto and the GTA, and that sort of includes exhibits, workshops, and festivals like this one. So feel free to nab me at any point if you want to know more about that. And there's also schedules if you haven't picked one already. So before we start, I'd just like to acknowledge a few things. So first of all, the Toronto Reference Library sits on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, aka the Six Nations Confederacy, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation. I'm sure many of you have heard land acknowledgements like this before.
I think this is seconds.
So I just wanted to remind everyone of their purpose and remind everyone that many of us who are settlers still benefit from the past and ongoing colonization of these territories, and Wordplay is no exception. So this acknowledgement is not only to express gratitude that we're being able to run events on these lands, but also to remind us that the decolonization and holding ourselves accountable to the Indigenous peoples of Turtle Island is an ongoing process, so one that we should continuously reflect on and act towards. And speaking of accountability and use of public space, the second thing I want to acknowledge is that some of you may have heard about the recent controversy over officially approved use of a Toronto Public Library building to promote discriminatory views against transgender people, particularly against trans women. So after a very difficult period of thought and discussion, Hand-Eye Society decided to continue holding Wordplay in this institution because many of the speakers and artists in Wordplay are trans and gender non-conforming, as well as several staff and volunteers, including myself. Feel free to ask me about that and the situation. And we want to remain visible in this place and have our voices heard. We want to acknowledge the damage that transphobic views and the failure to prevent them from spreading have done to the community, and to state our intention to continue addressing this issue long-term, but at this time, we would like to give Wordplay participants the opportunity to take up space in a meaningful way here, both as artists and members of the public who deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. In order to facilitate that respect, we do have a safe spaces policy that's available on our website, but of course, going all the way to the website and reading all that stuff is something most people in this situation are not equipped to do. So if you see anyone with a red sash or a bow, such as the one I am wearing, I'm dressed in all red, so I'm extremely visible right now, with our logo on it. Those are our safety check personnel, and we are just going to be actively observing the space, making sure no one's having an uncomfortable interaction. You can get our attention at any time if you witness something going down that someone is obviously being made to feel uncomfortable or unwelcome. And we will also be working together with library staff and security to make sure that everyone is having a fun time. And on that note, Christine here from the TPL is going to give the library statement on the code of conduct.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me. Good afternoon. First of all, welcome to this afternoon's Wordplay event. Before we begin today's events, I would like to make the following statement. In attending this Toronto Public Library event, TPL staff and organizers will ensure the event is compliant with Toronto Public Library's rules of conduct. The following rules of conduct are in effect for this afternoon and will be applied in a fair, dignified, and positive manner for the benefit of all. 1. Violent, threatening, abusive, discriminatory, or harassing language or conduct of any kind is not allowed. 2. Disruptive or intrusive behavior is also not allowed. Any behavior that does not support a welcoming environment and/or violates the rules of conduct may result in suspension of library privileges and exclusion from the library on the basis of the Ontario Trespass to Property Act and prosecution. These rules have been approved by the Toronto Public Library Board. An individual has the right to appeal his or her exclusion as described in the rules of conduct. Exclusion, reinstatement, and appeals policy. Thank you so much for your attention and enjoy your afternoon.
Please be kind to your fellow humans. Final thank you to Ontario Arts Council and Ontario Creates, who funded this event, and to the Toronto Arts Council that currently funds Hand-Eye Society. And now a word before we begin from our festival director, Chris Tihor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sagan, and thanks, Christine. Ooh. Here we are. It's the 7th annual Wordplay Festival. It's the 3rd one I've been involved with. I'm super excited about this. It may not translate across. I don't emote very well. It's because I'm kind of on the spectrum, so I don't really deal with that very well. But if you look very close, you can see I'm actually vibrating with excitement right now. So it's been really great being involved with this festival and seeing it grow, and this year growing to two days of content is just a really great milestone for me. So thanks for being here and participating in it. So we've got a great schedule today, wonderful talks. We also have, after every second talk, we're going to have a little break. And so those breaks are there basically so you have a chance to talk with your fellow attendees and talk with the speakers about the talks that you've heard today, and also give yourself a chance to get into the Learning Center one over there and check out our arcade of showcase games. And these are games that were handpicked by a jury of professional game developers to fit in with our format of games that make interesting use of the words. A couple other things today. So we're not having any official Q&A for any of the talks. So afterwards, if you want to ask questions to the speakers, then they're going to be around and mixing in with the rest of you. And so if you wanted to, if you had some questions you want to ask them, then just approach them on a more casual basis and talk and discuss whatever it is you wanted to talk about. So yeah, great schedule of talks today, and we're ending with a series of micro talks that should end the day off with a bang. One other thing about the arcade showcase is that some of the games, not all the games are intended for a general audience, so there might be some games that are more adult-oriented. So please take a look at the info sheets that are provided for each of the games to make sure that you're not having your 10-year-old play an inappropriate game, some such thing like that. So, what else? The other thing is tomorrow's program. I just want to talk about that a little bit. We've moved our workshops to Sunday, and we also have two great performances that are going to be happening tomorrow. So I highly recommend you come in tomorrow to check out what our programming is. Most of it will be happening at Learning Center 2, which is over there, and the Hinton Theater, which is up on the 3rd floor. So I hope to see you all there tomorrow. The other thing is that there is a super secret evening event on Sunday evening, but I'm not going to tell you about it. You have to come tomorrow to find out more information about it.